welcome to Taya Mini Read. So today I'm gonna do a book recommendation for Chinese, Korean inspired books. Now most of these books are like YA books. They're a bit younger, but I read some of them. I haven't read all, and they were I have my favorites. So let's get started on the very first book that I'm gonna talk about today, and is Song of Silver, Flame Like Night by Amélie Wen Zhao. So this book was a bit young YA-ish. It was about, and to be honest, it wasn't my favorite read, right? Because I felt like the author was trying to make it modernize the world and also kind of make it like sound old, like an ancient kind of world. But it just, there was some parts that I was like, yeah, no, it didn't go down well. I mean, it's still a really good book. I mean, it's a really good read, right? You know, it's about this girl who discovers that she has powers, and she her country has been conquered by these people called Atlanteans. Yeah, colonizers, right? And then she meets this other guy called Zen. Yeah, she meets Zen, and they kind of, okay, it's like the insta love trope. Not my fave again. And then, you know, she meets Zen, and they are on the run together, running from the colonizers people. And she goes to like a magical school where Zen takes her to the magical school. The school gets attacked. I mean, it's like a on the run kind of book. I don't really like on the run kind of book. And then the other part was, there was insta love, and then apparently there were sworn enemies, or they're meant to kill. I mean, yeah, it was not my favorite read, but you know, it's Chinese inspired. I really enjoyed those parts of the book. You know, learning about the culture, and then you know the phrases, and I like it when they actually respond in Chinese, because I speak a little Chinese. Ni hao, wo shi tayo. So I speak a little Chinese. I understand Chinese to some extent. So I love that part of the book where they kind of converse in Chinese, and you know she writes it down. So it's pretty interesting. But yeah, pick it up if you like younger protagonist, and it's like insta love, it's like swan enemies to lovers, kind of something like that. So yeah, next book I'm gonna talk about, vastly different from the last one, is She Who Became the Sun. This book came out 2020 or 2021, and a lot of people, like, the book was hyped. Shelley Parker-Chan, she did the thing with this book. This book is gory. It is straight up like brutal, right? This is so different from Song of Silver, Night Like Flame Like Night. Our protagonist here, Ju or Chu, Chung Bai. I hope I'm saying that right. It's a gender bender kind of book where she's a girl, but you know circumstances, she cross dresses and she becomes a guy, and then goes on to kind of, her goal in life is to be like the heavenly emperor, like the god. And then there's like there's fantasy, but it's like there's like magic somehow. I mean, it's really faint. Like, if you are really the heavenly emperor or something like that, there's like a light that kind of shines on you, blah blah blah. I don't know how they pull that off. There's actually a second book. The second book in the duology, it's a duology, but I haven't read that. But I did read this book, and I remember when I read this book, I was stunned. Like, she was a badass. Like, she was a badass, and one thing that stuck with me was she would do anything just to get to her end goal. So Chu Chanbai or Changbai, she was a fierce she was a very fierce protagonist. I'm not, like, she was actually badass. So if you like, and then it's more like a Mongols, you know, trying to fight to gain territory, kind of like Chinese kind of vibe. So yeah, if you like those kinds of book, you know, pick it up. Feel free. The duology is completed. There's a second book in this series, so you know you can definitely start and finish it anytime soon. Okay. Next we have this whimsical book, Six Crimson Cranes. So our protagonist is a Shioriyama. I hope I said that right. Of Kiyata. It's kind of like a Cinderella with a wicked stepmother, but she had brothers instead, and her brothers all turned into cranes, 6 cranes, and so she went on an adventure to try to change them back. There's a dragon involved. I think there's a dragon in this book. Yeah, there's a dragon, and then she kind of meets this prince. Again, almost kind of like an insta love. I don't know what is it with this young books and like the insta love. Anyways, but this was pretty whimsical. It was very, it was a good one. I actually enjoyed it. It's good for what it is. Just, you know, a girl trying to save her brothers, and she, you know, went on this adventure quest. And I'm not gonna I'm not gonna spoil it, but yeah, read it. It's actually pretty interesting. It gives you like a, you know, like a Grimm's brother kind of fairy tale vibe. So like I said, it's like Cinderella but like inverted, with her having, she still has like the stepmother, and then she has brothers, you know. So yeah. The next book that I'm gonna talk about is Jade Fire Gold by June C.L. Okay, so Jade Fire Gold. So I think this is kind of like very similar to Song Like Night. I always say the name wrong, but the book by Amélie Wen Zhao. That book, the title is so long. Okay, so this book is kind of like that, where you have someone she meets a guy. It's like insta love. They then realize that, oh yeah, one has the power to save or destroy. I mean, it was not, I can't even remember. That's how forgettable the book was. It wasn't a bad read, but I mean, it wasn't like I wanted to read this because I felt like, oh, it's gonna be like Chinese dramas that I watch. Maybe because the protagonists are too young. I don't know, but I just never really enjoyed it. But you know, it's a Chinese based on a, you know, kind of like a C-drama kind of vibe. So yeah, pick it up if you like insta love, young people. Let me see if I can get like a synopsis going. Yeah, all tens. Anne is no one found as a child. She has no memory of a past, only a dark secret, magical powers that will mean her imprisonment if they are discovered. But when Anne's secret is accidentally exposed, she's sent to the Imperial Palace to await her fate. So yeah, it's kind of like I said, like Song Like Night. We'll just call it Song Like Night. So like Song Like Night kind of vibe. No colonizers here, but there's a kingdom that's trying to ban magical powers, and Anne has the ability. The guy is the prince. I mean, it's just the same kind of story-ish, kind of. The last book that I'm going to be talking about is going to be The Red Palace by June Hur. So this one, I actually haven't picked it up yet. I just had it because I thought this was more like a K-drama vibe kind of book. I'm going to read a portion of it. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it says, if you enter the palace, you either die or you survive and become another monster within its walls. This kind of reminds me of the K-drama. No, actually the C-drama. The one where about when you marry the king and you become one of the concubines, and you know there's lots of stories on those kinds of this kind of history, and then you see how like one concubine, she goes in and she's all sweet, innocent, and then I don't know, 20 years later she's like evil, killing people's kids and like trying to, you know, fight for her life in the harem. So I mean, this just kind of reminds me of that. That's why I bought this book. So like a snippet from the back says, the crown prince killed me. The crown prince killed 4 women. The crown prince will kill again. And another thing that, you know, is also very interesting is that back then the king was like the law. Like they could do, the royal family, they could do anything, they could do literally anything, and no one could stop them. So it was always very demoralizing to see women, you know, be treated that way, and you just kind of feel bad for them because felt like they didn't have any rights. And so that's why when they went to the bad side, you're like, well, I mean, she's a product of her circumstances. Like, this is what y'all made her amounts to, you know. So this is also like a murder mystery in the royal palace, where it's like someone in the royal family is killing people, and our protagonist person is trying to find the person. So when I read it, I'll let you know my thoughts. But I mean, it has a really good review, so pick it up if you like Korean whodunit in a royal palace kind of setting vibe. So yeah, those are like some Chinese Korean recs. Like I said, they're a bit younger, YA. They're a bit on the younger side, YA. So yeah, pick them up if any of them sound interesting to you. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe my videos, and have a nice day. Thank you. Bye.